Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the County Council. I would like to also introduce Marshall Parham, who heads up the Housing Office.
Welcome.
The administration is requesting adoption of Bill 4616, which will prohibit housing discrimination based on a person's legal source of income. I first want to thank the Council for its serious consideration of this legislation. I know that, like the administration, you have received a lot of feedback regarding the bill, and your willingness to consider all of these points is much appreciated. The bill itself is very straightforward. It will make it unlawful for a landlord or a seller of a dwelling unit to refuse to consider the application of a tenant or a home buyer solely because of the person's income includes a public benefit, such as medical assistance, a disability benefit, or a housing subsidy, as well as a gift, pension, annuity, alimony, child support, or sale of property. That is what it is, no more and no less. Currently, in Baltimore County, it is illegal to refuse to rent or sell a home to a person because of race, religion, gender, age, national origin, marital status, sexual orientation, gender identity, mental or physical disability, or veteran status. With Bill 4616, we are asking that this same right to fair housing include people whose household income may include a disability payment, a housing choice voucher, a pension, or medical assistance. We have heard in this chamber claims that this would be too bureaucratic, that it's government overreach, property values will be harmed, and that it isn't fair. We've heard these same arguments throughout this country's history when African Americans, Catholics, women, gay couples, or Italian, Irish, or any other immigrant group tried to relocate to a different neighborhood to better the lives of their families. When we've met with the council members, the main point of discussion has been on the specifics of the Housing Choice Voucher Program. Here are a few facts. There are about 6,000 Baltimore County families using Housing Choice Vouchers. That is less than 2% of the total number of households in this county. Most voucher holders have jobs, and like many hard-working Americans, they get up and go to work every day. The problem is that they can't get enough work, or their jobs simply don't pay enough to meet the housing costs in Baltimore County. And just like many hard-working Americans these days, they need some help. On the voucher program, 30% of the holders are elderly, 32% are disabled. The Housing Choice Voucher Program is federally funded, but it is managed on the ground by the Baltimore County Housing Office. There is no forced contract with the federal government. A landlord can easily pick up the phone and contact Ms. Parham and her staff if there are any questions or concerns. As Ms. Parham has said, the Housing Office screens for eligibility and landlords select for wonderfulness. Landlords may apply any tenant review that for them defines wonderful, such as credit checks, references, criminal background checks, etc. I can't emphasize this point enough. All of these landlord processes remain in place. Nothing in the bill changes that. There are concentrations of poverty in Baltimore County. This is generally where housing costs are the lowest and where clusters of landlords accept housing choice vouchers. There are other parts of the county where these same landlords will not accept vouchers. Without competition in the marketplace, people will remain trapped in the same place. Areas of poverty will remain unchanged, and grinding disinvestment will continue. But probably the most important fact is that by discriminating against poorer families, we may be denying their children the opportunity to better their lives and to break the intergenerational cycle of poverty. In 2015, a Harvard study analyzing tax records of over 5 million children found that where children are raised does have an impact on their chances of moving up economically. In addition, the younger a child is when he or she relocates to a neighborhood with more opportunity, the greater the income boost. It was also found that neighborhoods matter more for boys than for girls. In 2016, another Harvard study of children moving from low-income to middle-class neighborhoods was published. It found that children who relocated when they were younger than 13 made 31% more on average than their peers whose families were not given vouchers to move. The relocated children were also more likely to attend college and less likely to be single parents. In closing, I would like to quote President Theodore Roosevelt, who said, "In any moment of decision, the best thing we can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing we can do is nothing." Thank you very much for your consideration of this very important piece of legislation.
Thank you.